lot of you have written in asking me what I think about the new Tesla truck, and I did see the YouTube video on it when Elon Musk introduced it, and I have to say it's kind of a slippery looking thing. It's not as nice looking as the Nokia or the Peterbilt concept truck, I don't think, but it's kind of got that Hoover vacuum cleaner look on the front of it. The truck should have a grill, I would think, just to make it look like a truck. I know it's got no rad, so it doesn't need a grill, but still, you should put a grill on the thing to at least make it look like a truck anyway. So, but yeah, big fanfare. Musk is quoting stats for this thing, quarter-mile stats for this thing, like it's a drag car. I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing for a truck. You get to the light and you leave the light like Don Garlett's. All the freight slams to the back to the trailer doors, and I don't know how good that's going to be on the load. He's talking lots of horsepower. I'm thinking, well, you know, a truck that can do a burnout, how good is that going to be in the snow? Probably not really good, especially in the mountains. I bet Elon Musk's a design guy and an entrepreneur. He's not a truck driver, so he wouldn't necessarily know this stuff, I guess. Just light that puppy up and she'll burn the tire chains right off her. I can't see the point in that, but he seems fascinated by it anyway. Overall, I have to say that I like the concept idea of the electric truck. I think it's a far superior idea to that of the trucks that they were proposing that ran on liquid natural gas, for instance. I was laid over in Baytown, Texas one weekend a few years ago, and they were digging up the parking lot of the Flying J in Baytown and putting in these big liquid propane tanks, and I was looking at this system, and I've hauled enough hazardous and flammable liquid in my time to know that this stuff isn't always the easiest to handle and the nicest to handle, and I just couldn't think it was a practical idea for guys to be fueling their trucks up on this stuff every day and having to wear the protective rubber gloves and all that stuff. Just didn't seem like a really safe concept. Or if they took a blow from the side in the tank, the natural gas tank, man, I just can't imagine the explosion. But I think these battery operated trucks are, frankly, once they get the bugs out, I think that's going to be the way to go. Now, sure, there's lots of problems with them. I've heard different weights quoted for these battery packs, anywhere between 2,000 and 10,000 pounds for these battery packs that these trucks need to carry. Well, you know how much the shippers are going to like to sacrifice 10,000 pounds of freight. Well, not at all. So they've got some bugs to work out there. These things have a range of 500 miles. A regular truck can go twice that far. These things need an hour to recharge. You can refuel a regular truck in 15 minutes. And they don't have charging stations all over the place. But think of the parking that these guys are going to need. If every truck needs an hour to recharge and they're only running half the distance, they're going to need twice or more than twice the amount of available parking that's available now to us, and they don't have enough parking now. So I just can't imagine the traffic jams these trucks are going to create going in and out to be recharged. It's going to be a nightmare that way. If you had a look at that truck that Elon Musk drove up on stage, part of the reason it's so slippery looking is because the tractor was snugged right in against the trailer. Well, that's to make it look really aerodynamic, and I'm sure it is until he gets into a corner. And then truck engineers know that there's such a thing as they refer to as swing dip clearance. And really what that is the room between the tractor and the trailer when they come together in a tight turn. And we've all seen trucks with crunched bunk extenders. Musk's new truck has no swing dip clearance. So there's going to be a big issue for it right there. There are other problems as well. What happens when the truck's in a collision and the batteries are ruptured? Is that dump battery acid on the highway? They think diesel fuel is bad to clean up. Wait till they try cleaning up battery acid. Musk claims that these things will go 1,000,000 miles without breaking down. And anybody in the real world knows that nothing mechanical can go without breaking down. So he's going to have no repair facilities for these things. You and I both know the damn things are going to break down. And then where is he going to be? And where's the driver going to be? So I hope they're paying the drivers by the hour, because when these things go down, they got no way to fix them. It's kind of like when the Volvos first came here. When they break, there's no parts. Well, it's kind of the same thing. So downtime is going to be a real issue for these things. So we'll have to wait and see. But part of what you pay for when you buy a Kenworth or a Pete or something like that is the engineering that's gone into the vehicle. And it takes years of on-road trials to get the bugs out of these things. So they find out, you know, all the problems with it associated with running in the real world on the highways. Musk's truck has done none of that so far. So it will be years before they get the bugs out of it. There's another issue with it right there. It's going to take 10 years before they can put these things into practical application on the highway. Now, I watched a YouTube video with Bob Lutz the other day. He's the retired head of General Motors. And what he was saying was that Tesla, at this point, has yet to produce a vehicle that they can sell for a profit, because the manufacturing cost is so damn high that when they turn the thing over to the sales floor, it's so expensive nobody will buy it. So what they're doing is cutting the cost to sell the vehicles. Well, you and I both know, and so does Lutz, that what kind of an economic balance is that for a company? That you can't sustain that very long, selling everything at a loss, losing money every year. But right now, Tesla is financed by government funding and grants money, that type of thing. So it's not financially sustainable at that point, or at this point anyway. And it's going to be a while before they can actually level that out and show a profit to see if this thing's even going to be feasible, if it's going to be around in 10 years or not. So it's got its issues. But overall, I think he's on the right track. I got a kick out of the showmanship involved when Musk came on stage. I thought that was kind of funny. He had the leather coat on, hands in his belt, and I thought, is that the new Silicon Valley cool? And one of my buddies said, no, that's just Elon Musk trying to do Steve Jobs cool. And I laughed, and that's exactly what that is. That must be an attempt at the new Silicon Valley look. I don't know. This guy has spent too much time in the Silicon Valley and not enough time out in the real world where these trucks really have to work and earn their keep and make a living for the companies and the guys that drive them. And it's a great idea, but it's a long way yet from being practical. So we'll see how it turns out. Like I say, I think he's on the right track. I think the electric trucks are going to be the way of the future. I see good things for them. I noticed that Elon had to drive the thing onto the stage. It didn't drive itself onto the stage. The thing has a steering wheel. So that's a good sign. I have more faith in the electric truck concept than I do in the autonomous truck concept, for sure. But no, I think it's a start. I think they've got a long way to go. But I do believe that you'll see these things working in the future on our highways. That's my take on it. I'll update you if I see any changes, but you guys take care, drive safely, and I will see you on the back haul.